You're watching college baseball on the SEC Network. Tonight we got a good one for you here on the first night of March, the series opener between Long Beach State and the number 10 Ole Miss Rebels. What's going on, everybody? Seth Austin alongside the ace, Brady Bramlett. Brady, last season, this was a primetime matchup in the non-conference between these two teams, but you look at Long Beach State, 0-7 to start the year. You can't let that, deceive you. This is going to be a great series this weekend.
Look, this weekend is a great test for both of these squads. And just like Long Beach, don't let their numbers fool you because they've got a lot of talent on this team. They're going to have a great matchup, though, against this Ole Miss offense that's been hitting the cover off of the baseball.
And I know you've heard the saying before, March comes in like a lion, out like a lamb. Well, if you're Long Beach State, you hope it's the reverse. And by the end of the month, you're going to be hitting the ball just as well as Ole Miss is. If you're Ole Miss, you hope it comes in like a lion and out like a lion.
That's right. Ole Miss has certainly been roaring through their lineup. And look, Long Beach, numbers don't look great, but again, watching them in BP earlier today, they've got a lot of talent through this lineup. Look, they work gap to gap, but again, a challenge for this against this Ole Miss lineup.
The Dirtbags hitting 156 on the year. They're going to have to get things figured out against the junior, Will Etheridge, making his second start on the season. His first start went really well. On opening night, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs allowed with 5 strikeouts. But then Brady developed that blister on his throwing hand, and we know how problematic that can be, so what can we expect from Will here tonight?
Look, the blister is nothing to play around with, but Etheridge is a guy that I love to watch pitch. He's got a big fastball. It's going to sit in the low 90s. He can touch mid-90s, but he's a strike thrower with all of his pitches, and he really competes against the batters and makes the batters work against his pitches.
Here's the lineup tonight for the Dirtbags from Long Beach State. Honestly, they want to get more production throughout the lineup, but head coach Troy Buckley says he wants his team to be aggressive, so look for the top of the order to try to get things going. Stotler, Vanderwall, and Estrada, the 1, 2, and 3 batters here this evening. Defensive alignment for the Rebels looks fairly similar to what they've thrown out there most of the season, with Ryan Olenek out in center field, Keenan getting the start at third tonight with Elko in right field. It'll be Cooper Johnson catching the balls and strikes from number 20, Will Etheridge. One away for Dylan Spakey now, and Thomas Dillard will be the batter. He comes in to the left side of the batter's box. 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts for Thomas Dillard. He was batting .500 entering the day. Struck out looking in the first, grounded out in the third and fifth, and then another strikeout looking in the 7th inning. He can make all that go away with one swing.
And he is more than capable of making that happen. It was fascinating. Dillard coming into this game, he has not had his normal game, but he had a perfect .500 split. Right side versus the left side as a batter, hitting .500 on both sides of the plate. You normally don't see that as a switch hitter. They usually favor one side or the other. Sometimes, in my opinion, Dillard does favor the left side. There's a lot more power there for him. But man, this season so far, a lot of action and a lot of success on both sides for Thomas Dillard.
Deep fly ball to right field, Thomas Dillard. 0 for 4 going into the at-bat, and he'll walk it off with a shot to right center field. We said he could change his fortune with one swing, and just like that.
How about this little light tower power from the junior Thomas Dillard? Absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball, and exactly what we expect to see from this caliber of player.
His 6th homer of the season. Not a bad way to end game 1 of the doubleheader. Coach, you got some offense going there in the last half inning. I'm sure you're excited to see that.
Yeah, you know, it's not quite the same experience that you guys are looking at on that other dugout, but it's good to see. I mean, we got a long way to go, so anytime we can build off of something small, that's a big deal for us right now.
Coach, I want to ask you about Lane Huffman, a guy who's fought back from injuries. He's 2 for 2 here tonight, making his first start in the field in a couple of years now. What does it mean to see a guy like that back out there again?
Fantastic. I'm happy for him. He's worked really hard, torn labrum and rotator, and to be back out there, and he's a huge inspiration. He's a big fan of mine, and you know, he's a really, really good player that gives us a lot of presence.
Gessinger sees a 2-0 count here. 6 for 13 over the weekend against Alabama. Brady, you mentioned bringing him from the leadoff spot to the second, the 2-hole. And all of a sudden, the numbers just exploded for him on Sunday.
There's a lot more freedom. Just the chance and the ability to swing away, to not have that thought in the back of your head that I've got to take pitches, I got to see this guy up. And you're in that 2-hole, just swing. Just swing and have fun.
And the way Anthony Servidio's gotten on base here this season makes it a little easier. Hit and run was on. Servideo took off for second, and he's going to flash the wheels here as the ball gets out into left field. An RBI for Gray Kessinger. He winds up at second. That bat and fuego right now.
Gray Kessinger working that hit and run there at the hot corner. Again, swinging away. Everything's loose. Everything's easy. Right there, just letting the hands work. Taking it right there down the left field line. Servideo, great job showing off the wheels, scoring there from first base, and getting a great jump on that hit and run. A lot of times you'll see, as soon as a guy gets on base, that hit and run, the perfect opportunity is to do it that first pitch, that second pitch at the at-bat.
Tyler Keenan's turn now. As Kessinger gets checked back to the bag, I'll ask you, does Anthony Servideo get enough credit for how fast he is?
I don't think he's gotten it yet, because he's speedy.
There's a couple guys, Gindel you look at, Josh Hall you look at as the speedsters on the team. I think Servideo is in that class, but he might not get the pop for that, the pub for that the other guys do.
It definitely is, and it's you look at a Carl Gindel, and of course you look at Josh Hall, the freshman who has the national
stolen
high school
base record.
Right. In Servideo, I mean, the best way to describe him, he's quick on the base pass. I mean, you got guys that are pure out speed on a direct sprint, and in Servideo, you watch him on the base path, and man, he takes base after base on hits just like that right there. From first base, scores on a base hit. Man, that's you got to have that in your lineup.
Good steal call here from the Rebels. Mike Clement at third base brings Servideo 90 feet from scoring. Also gives Tyler Keenan a chance at the plate to bring him home. Swing there and a miss. 2-1. Keenan, the sophomore from Clayton, North Carolina. 22nd start on the year. Looking for another RBI. That might be more than one. Keenan, powerful swing. The third home run of the inning for Ole Miss. Tyler Keenan, sixth. A 2-run shot makes it 8-0 Ole Miss. Excuse me, 10-0 Ole Miss. Tack on the 2 more.
How about adding some RBIs to your numbers by getting your own RBI, by getting yourself across the plate? Tyler Keenan, phenomenal swing here, not trying to do too much. You see right there that lower half, complete torque, using those hands. Bye-bye baseball, man. This is fun to watch this lineup hit. Tyler Keenan being a critical aspect of how much fun it is to watch these Rebels hit the baseball.
Third home run of the inning. First, it was Kevin Graham, a 2-run shot. Then Knox LaPasser, bomb out to the visiting bullpen. Keenan returned the favor again. 2-run shot. Dillard 1 for 1. Also brought a run in, and he's reached base via the walk. Hasn't been picking up as many hits over the past week, including the 2 games at Louisville. The weekend against Alabama was just 1 for 9 against the Tide. He's trying to wake up the bat. Thomas Dillard, a monster shot to center field. Ole Miss has gone back-to-back twice in this inning, and for the 4th time on the year, power after power after power. Rebels lead at 11-0.
There's nothing like a moonshot to wake up that bat. Thomas Dillard showing off that power, showing off that swing. Pure strength, dead away to center field. I mean, it's hard to find another batter in this league and in the country that has the power that Thomas Dillard does.
The new pitcher is redshirt junior righty Ross Walker Rooster. His father, Jamie Catwalker, is an Austin Peay alum, member of the APSU Hall of Fame, played 10 seasons in the majors for Kansas City, Detroit, and Baltimore. Has an appearance this season, picked up a save, retiring the only batter he faced against South Dakota State. We'll talk about his stats all day. Let's talk about the mustache first. How about it?
That is about as good of a mustache as you're going to see. Check this out. This is fine.
Well, I know you can talk baseball all day long, David, but let's go to the sport we know you're the biggest fan of, water polo.
Oh, yeah.
Austin Stump was a primo water polo player at Puyallup High School. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, out in Washington State. Has the school record for most sprints won and goals scored. Have to imagine that 6'6" frame gives him an advantage in that category.
So
your analysis there.
You think he look, I've got much respect for athletes that play water polo. I mean, they've got to tread water the whole time. That's not easy to do. It's also a more physical sport than you would imagine. There's a lot of pushing and shoving and kicking and scratching going on underneath the water. I learned a lot about it just recently. The production coordinator at ESPN, Emily Turner, was a water polo athlete in college, and she was telling me things that it's unbelievable how physical they are.
Just the versatility of the guy. To be a D1 pitcher, excel at water polo, be on a Pac-12 rowing team. I'm not sure I've ever heard of a trio like that.
Do it all. I mean, he's got the size to be a basketball player.
That's what I was going to say. I'd pick him first overall.
Yep.
Stump checks the runner. The 2-2 to Zabowski, fouled off.
I think actually both Stump and Zabowski could battle at it under the net. That'd be a good matchup, good one-on-one. Zabowski's got a little more girth to him.
Couple power forwards doing battle here at Swayze Field. Bottom 6, Rebels by 8. Thomas Dillard on second, 1 out. Cole Zabowski, have yourself a night. Another RBI for big Cole Zabowski. Give him 4 on the evening.
Another RBI, another line drive to that left center field gap. Cole Zabowski sticking with his working for him. Drove a home run down the left field line yesterday and staying inside that ball. There's a lot of money to be made by batters that drive the ball to the opposite field.
Welcome to a dreary Oxford, Mississippi. Game 1 between UAB and number 13 Ole Miss is coming your way. What's going on, y'all? Seth Austin alongside David DeLucci. David, Ole Miss has a feeling they haven't felt since May of 2017. They lost the midweek non-conference game to ECU on Wednesday. I'm sure they're going to want to get back out there and just wash that away.
Count evens up 2-2. Graham hit .415 with 9 home runs, 52 RBI as a senior at Westminster Christian. Was the conference player of the year, a 2-time first-team All-State performer in Missouri.
Rocketed out to right field. How about your first ever college hit being a home run? A 3-run shot for Kevin Graham. Ole Miss takes the 6-3 lead off the bat of number 35, the freshman Kevin Graham.
You know he'll remember this for the rest of his life. And that was one of the keys for Tanner Graham, is to get the ball down in the strike zone. That was belt high. And I don't care if you've got your first hit or not. Those balls go a long, long way.
Phillips went 3 innings, Hill 2, Smith 1. Broadway trying to shut the door. Swing and a miss. Broadway strikes him out, and Ole Miss has their first combined no-hitter in program history, the first no-hitter of any kind since Russ Johnson no-hit Mississippi State back in 1966. What a performance by both the bats and the arms out on the mound.